With love, all kinds of creative action takes place. You see how Raulbai has love for me. And in this place, you all also got new ideas of creating a beautiful thing. And as love will increase, your creativity will develop. So the basis of all creativity of Saraswati is love. If there is no love, there is no creativity. It's even in the deeper sense. If you see, people who have created all the scientific things are also out of love for the masses, not for themselves. Nobody has produced anything for themselves. If they make something for themselves, it has to become for universal use, otherwise it has no meaning. Even if you say atom bomb and all these things are created from science, they are also very protective. If they had not created those, people would not have taken out their minds from war. Now nobody can think of having a big war. Of course they are having cold wars, but that also will gradually stop when they will be fed up of it. So all the activity on the right hand side of Saraswati basically has to end up in love, starts with love and ends up in love. Whichever does not end up in love coils up and finishes up. It just disappears. So you can see that even matter which is not used for love just finishes up. The basis has to be love. Otherwise all such matter that we create, which has angularity, which is not fitting into the mass media, which is not appealing to the masses. Of course, it takes time. We have seen that it takes time. But it has that tendency always to disappear in the thin air as soon as you find it does not appeal to the masses. Now this love that we talk of, this great love of God we talk of, we know that it for definite through vibrations. People do not have vibrations, but still they can feel the vibrations in a very unconscious way. All the great paintings of the world have vibrations. All the great creative works of the world have vibrations. Only those who have vibrations have been sustained by time. Otherwise all other things are destroyed. There must have been monuments and horrible statues and horrible things that have been created long time back, but were all destroyed by nature and they could not stand the impact of the kala, that is the destructive power of time. So all that is sustaining, all that is nurturing, all that is ennobling comes from this sense of love which is within us, very much developed, but within others also who are not yet realized. Ultimately the whole world has to realize that one has to go to that ultimate love of God, otherwise it has no meaning. Now you have seen in art, people have taken to other methods of appealing to people by using cheap things and very vulgar things, just to make people think that this is art. But this will all disappear. It cannot sustain the impact of the time, as I told you. It cannot, because the time will kill it. All these things have to disappear. And already you can see the result, how things are changing everywhere, even in the West. So there is no need to be so much disappointed with the West and to say that the Western world is a wasteland. It is going to be all right, and it has to be done. Especially it has done a lot of puja of Saraswati, I should say, in the West. Much more that they have done in India, because they have gone to learning, they have tried to find out so many things. But only thing they forgot that it is a goddess of learning. Everything comes from the goddess, that's what they've forgotten. And that's why all the problems have been created. If there is no spirit in your learning, if there is no source of the goddess in your learning, then it is absolutely useless. If they had realized that there is the spirit that is working it out, they would not have gone that far. And that's what I was warning the Indians all through, that you are now taking to industrial revolution in a way. And to avoid all the complications of industrial revolution, you must try to know the spirit. If you do not know the spirit, you will have the same problems as these people have, because they are also human beings, you are also human beings. You will go the same way, at random you will run, and there will be problems, the same problems as the Western people have suffered. Now, Saraswati's blessings are so many that one cannot describe in such a short time. And the Surya has given us so many powers that it is impossible to tell them even in one lecture, even in 10 lectures. But how we go against Surya and how we go against Saraswati while doing the worship of Saraswati is to be seen very clearly within ourselves. For example, the Western people are very fond of Surya because they have no Surya with them. But they go too far with it, as you know, and create complications within themselves of Surya. But the main thing that one has to achieve through Surya is the light within. Is the light within. And if Surya chakra at the Agya level is occupied by Lord Jesus Christ, then it is even more essential that the purity of life, what we call niti, is the morality of life. The morality itself has become very much sort of an argument in the West. People don't have any sense of absolute morality. On vibrations, of course, you know. But they have gone all against it. Those who are the worshippers of Jesus, those who are the worshippers of the Surya, of the Saraswati, have all gone against the powers of Surya, just disobeying it. Because you cannot be a Surya if you do not have a proper sense of morality and holiness. The Surya itself brings light. You see everything clearly. So many qualities Surya has got. It dries up everything that is wet, dirty, filthy. It dries up all these places which create parasites. But so many parasites are created in the West. Not only parasites, but there are horrible cuts and horrible things which have come into those countries, which is supposed to be full of light. And in that darkness, they exist. Darkness about their spirit, darkness about their own knowledge, and darkness about love. These three things have taken over in the places where you are supposed to love light. Light doesn't mean what you see with your gross eyes. Light means from within, the light of love. That one should understand. Light of love. And it's so soothing, it's so sweet, it's so beautiful, it's so enamoring, it's so abounding that unless and until you can feel that light within you, that light which is of pure love, of purity, pure relationships, pure understanding, if you can develop that kind of a light within yourself, then the whole thing will be cleansed. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. This is what happens to you when you are completely cleansed. The purest form of nature is within us. The purest form of nature is within us. Our chakras are made out of that purest form of nature. We are the only people who are spoiling it by our mental thinking. Again, the same Saraswati's work. We are going against Saraswati itself. Saraswati cleanses all that is impure in nature, while with our brain activity we are spoiling all that. All our brain activity goes against pure intelligence. And that's what one has to understand, that this pure intelligence is not to be soiled by our thinking. Our thinking can make us so bumptious, so ego-oriented, so impure, that we can really eat the poison and say, what's wrong? Just the opposite of Saraswati. If Saraswati is within us, she gives us Subuddhi, wisdom. And that's why to worship Saraswati, to worship Surya, we must have that clear vision as to what we have to be, what we are doing, what filth we are living in, what our mind is getting into. After all, we are here for emancipation and not for just pampering our ego and living with our filth that is with us. So this light should come within us and we should try to rise above our own mental filth which is being created around us. Apart from that, you have to go higher and understand that there is within us a thing called ego. And this ego is false, absolute false. You do not do anything. Actually, when you turn your eyes here and there, when your attention is here and there, it's nothing but your ego is trying to overpower everything. But actually, ego is an absolute falsehood, because there's only one ego, and that is of God Almighty, Mahat Ahankara. There is no really any ego that exists. It's a myth, it's a very big myth. Because if you start thinking, you are doing everything, you are doing this, you are doing that, which you are not doing, then this nonsensical ego comes in and you start working it out. It can project in every direction. When it projects forward, it overpowers others, it tries to dominate others, tries to kill others, becomes cruel. When it moves right side, it becomes supraconscious. It starts seeing things which are absurd, which are foolish, which are stupid. When it moves left side, then it starts seeing things, yourself as a big man, as a big Christ, or as a big Devi, or something. They are Adi Gurus and I am very great personality. That's left side. When it moves backwards, that's the dangerous one. When people become gurus, which are ruining other people. When the ego moves backwards, then they become gurus. They themselves have lots of defects in themselves, and they try to pull people into those horrible stuff which is described as absolute narka. That's how is the movement of ego on all the sides. Now, when people try to use their right vishuddhi, that is to talk about themselves, is the worst of all. Whatever type of ego you may have, if you start boasting about it and talking about it, that it encircles, thickens the walls of ego so much that it is impossible to penetrate into that, because that such a person is completely satisfied with himself and he believes that he is true. And once he starts believing into a nonsense like that, is an impossibility. It's an impossibility to penetrate. So when you boast about these things or you talk big, be careful. You see, you know what I am, but how many times do I say I am that? Even if I say once, it makes tremendous vibrations for you. But how many times do I say so? At the most, if you say something, I say, yes, but I don't say that. If I say it loudly, I don't know what may happen, the whole thing might be blasted with truth. So, one has to understand that Mahat Ahankara is the one that acts, that works, that really. Sometimes I shout at you, immediately all the bhoots run away. Just once I shout, yesterday you saw all the bhoots that were coughing, they all ran. Yesterday just I stopped. So you should understand that now as you are realized souls, you can also do the soul. Use your right vishuddhi to shout at yourself. Now will you please stop boasting? Will you stop talking all this nonsense? Will you stop showing off? Then it will stop. Now this thickening takes place by people who really are active, who want to do something about it. Not that they are not active, they want to do it. But they know only one way is to act through talking. They don't understand that there are inner ways by which you control it much more. Because they don't want to take to that, they take to this talking. And once they take to talking and they talk about it, the whole power flows out. But if they do not talk about it and keep it within themselves, it's all right, you can tell me about your experiences or anything, but if you start telling others, talking about it too much, then the powers that you have got will be all disappearing gradually. And you will just come down to absolutely lowest level. So one should not too much talk that I have this power, or I see this, or I do this, which is a very wrong thing. I warn you, don't try to show off. You can talk about my powers, it's all right. But don't try to talk about your powers. When it comes, of course, to talk to somebody who is a negative person, or to tell somebody, then you should say that we, not I, we have, some of us have felt this power within us. We have seen people. It may be you only, but you need not say I have. What you have to say, we. Then you become the Mahatahankara. When you say we, yes, some of us, we do. Like in Gregor's book also, I saw to it that he should not have many I's, but he should have we. We think, we do, we. Means the whole collective being, the whole collective organism, living organism of Sahaja-yogis. So you should say, yes, some of us have got. That means you put yourself down, but put all others above you. Say, yes, some of us have, I know some people have this. That's the way one should do it. Because if you have to overpower your ego, you must allow it to spread into everybody else. That's how you will make it perfectly alright. Make it spread. We all Sahaja-yogis. We all. But that pride is not there. I have seen that pride is not there. Still it is very individualistic. If you start thinking we Sahaja-yogis, then what happens? That you become one personality, one organization. But the person will look down upon other people, will see that this person is low, that person is high, that person is there. But he will not think, we the Sahaja-yogis, how beautiful we are. We, the body of Sahaja-yoga, how beautiful we are. So always think in the words of we. So your ego will become much less, much less, much less. And the same ego which looked so funny and absurd will form tomorrow, the Ekadasha. Today's individual ego will merge into Ekadasha. But we all must remember to say we all the time. This is what is today's day is great day for us to change, because the sun has changed its mood now. The sun is coming this side. So let us welcome the sun coming to the north now, this way. And for Australians to say that though the sun has gone, let us establish the sun, the domain of sun within ourselves. Because sun never disappears from our inside. So that is how we have to take a mood by which we should think of one personality, all of us together. All of us together. And anybody tries to be something separate or different, he'll drop it. I'll drop him. Whatever it may, it will drop it. So you just don't worry. Anybody who tries to be singled out or anything, everybody must do whatever they like to nurture the whole, to help the whole, to emancipate the whole, but not to in any way put anyone down or less. Because this is not the way the Sahaja-yoga is. Sahaja-yoga only works in collectivity. And the one who has developed this permeating spirit is a real Sahaja. Who has not, is not. Whatever you may think of yourself, I have nothing to say. But this permeating personality, which moves from places to places, whether you talk or not, like your mother is. Whether I meet you or not makes no difference, but I am permeating through all of you. By little things also I am there with you. So like that, try to permeate into each other and see the beauty, and you will enjoy yourself the best, because that is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that is to be achieved. Because this ego, makes you like a nutshell, and you just cannot have a rapport with that beauty of permeation. And just see how the notes move into each other. It will be a great idea today. It's a great thing. Today we are having puja dhulya. Like the dhulya means the dust. And one day I had written in childhood a poem, I remember. Very interesting poem it was. I don't know where it's lost, but we said that I want to be like a dust particle, which moves with the wind. It goes everywhere. Can go sit on the head of a king, or can go and fall at the feet of someone. It can go and sit on a little flower, and it can go and sit everywhere. But I want to be a particle of dust that is fragrant, that is nourishing, that is enlightening. Like that. I had written a very beautiful poem when I must have been about 7 years of age, I remember, to be a dust particle. I remember that very clearly, long time back, that I should be a dust particle so that I'll permeate into people, which is a very big thing to become a dust particle of that kind. To that whatever you touch, you see, that becomes enlivened. Whatever you just feel, that has fragrance. It's such a great thing to be like that. And that was my desire, and it has been achieved. At that young age, I had this idea of becoming a dust particle, and today, just while talking to you, I remembered that I wanted to be that, and that is what this place is. And Raulwe is like that. She's a very simple woman, and she lives like a very simple person, but she has a sense of permeation. And now there are so many Sahajogis yesterday who came. I'm sure they'll take it up, Sahajoga, very well. There are lots of Sahajogis from Dhulia now, and I'm sure there are going to be more people. I hope you have met all of them. Make friends with all of them. Try to know them, who they are. They may not know English, so get somebody to translate. Talk to them and be nice to them. Be friendly with them. I want you to meet them for permeation. You should know who are the people here, who are in Nasi, because somehow we never meet the Sahajogis, you see, who are in that particular place. And when we go back, we have only 1 or 2 addresses. It's not a good idea. Try to see how many people there are, ask about their questions about them and all that. This permeation is only possible when your ego starts permeating all around. This is the way to overcome the problems of the right side, and that is how to worship Saraswati. Because Saraswati has a veena in her hand, and that veena is the primordial instrument which she plays, like music. And the music penetrates into the heart. You don't know how it goes into you and how it works out. And that's how a person who is a Sahajogi should permeate like music into everything. She has so many qualities, as I told you, it cannot be described in one lecture. But one of the greatest quality of hers is that she ends up into subtler things. Like the Mother Earth will end up into fragrance. Music will enter into melodies. Like that, whatever she creates ends up into something later. Matter, whatever she produces, ends up into aesthetics. If matter does not have aesthetics, then it is gross. Like that, everything. Now, you will say, what is water? Water becomes the river Ganges. These are the subtler. So, the matter gets into subtler things because it has to permeate. It has to permeate. So, everything, whatever it is, and the best of all is the air. That air becomes the vibrations. So, you can see how whatever has come out from this matter, from these 5 elements, becomes that subtle thing. Of course, the left side and right side both work it out, because the love has to work on this, and when love acts on matter, it becomes that. And that is how one has to look at your own lives to make it a beautiful combination of love and matter. May God bless you.
श्री माताजी ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी स्वरूपिणी मात सरस्वती ब्रह्मस्वरूपिणी मात सरस्वती ब्रह्मस्वरूपिणी मात सरस्वती ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी पम गम पद पम गम पम गरे सा गरे गम गम पम गरे सा निरे गरे गम पम गम पद पम गम पम गरे गरे सा ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी सदा चरणों में रखना चित्त सदा चरणों में रखना चित्त सदा चरणों में रखना ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी ज्ञानदायिनी श्री माताजी ज्ञानदायिनी 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 श्री माताजी ओ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री ब्रह्मदेव सरस्वती साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी Shree Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha.
Shree Mataji, let us now stand for the Aji.
Sabaku dua de nama, sabaku dua de nama, jadi malamata, jadi malamata, bila mesada nama, sabaku dua de nama, sabaku dua de
the three great mantras of the Sahasrara.
Bhagavati Mataji Shree Mataji Devi ki Jai. Mataji. Namaskar. Let's all raise our Kundalini and do bandhas. Thank you, Shree Mataji. Thank you to all brothers and sisters. Jai Shree Mataji.
Jai Shree Mataji. We, the yogis from Côte d'Ivoire Collective, humbly thank you for joining this meditation in Africa. We must humbly say thank you to our Divine Mother, Shree Adishakti, for allowing us this opportunity to unite with all brothers and sisters globally for this meditation. May we continue to grow deeper in our meditation. May we continue to rise higher in our ascent. May our love, friendship, brotherhood and respect grow stronger for each other. May this be the start of a divinely beautiful relationship between all Sahaja Yogi around the world. Thank you, Shree Mataji. Family, please do join our next meditation in Africa on 7th of March 2021. We now end our session with the beautiful bhajan sang by the yogis of Ivory Coast. Jai Shree Mataji.
Pour la première fois que j'ai vu Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, toutes mes craintes et mes soucis se sont envolés. Oui, elle est arrivée, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi en Bifura. Oui, elle est arrivée, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, we bow to you. Shree Mataji, nous te sommes reconnaissants de nous avoir donné la réalisation. Shree Mataji, nous te sommes reconnaissants de nous avoir donné la réalisation. Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, on Bifura. Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, we bow to you. Malgré nos péchés et nos erreurs du passé, tu nous as acceptés tels que nous sommes. Malgré nos péchés et nos erreurs du passé, tu nous as acceptés tels que nous sommes. Shree Mataji, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, on Bifura. Shree Mataji, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, we bow to you. Au lever du jour, les oiseaux et les anges chantent ton Saint-Nom. Te rendre grâce, oh Mataji. Au lever du jour, les